For years, customizing Omnisphere patches meant diving deep into layers, oscillators, filters, envelopes, you name it. But Omnisphere 3 changes everything with 6 intelligent controls that let you shape any patch in seconds. Let me show you. So I just tweaked a few knobs and we've got to this sound, and the original sound was this. I'm Adrian Earnshaw, and if you've ever felt overwhelmed by Omnisphere's massive synthesis engine, this video is going to be a little bit of a game changer for you. These new adaptive global controls are literally called adaptive because they analyse each patch automatically and give you musical results every single time, no matter what preset you load. And the best part, well, you never have to understand what's really happening under the hood if you don't want to. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use all 6 controls to make any Omnisphere patch work perfectly in your ambient and electronica productions. So let's dive in. But a little quick note, if you're getting into Omnisphere 3, make sure you've subscribed because I'm releasing a complete series covering every new feature. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Alright, first things first, what exactly are adaptive global controls and why should you care about them? Well, these controls sit right at the top of Omnisphere's interface. There's tone, ambience, filter, envelope, vibrato and unison to play with. Now here's what makes them special, and this is really clever on Spectrasonics' part. When you load a patch, literally any patch, Omnisphere 3 automatically analyses what's inside that patch. It looks at the oscillators, the filters, the effects, the modulation, everything, then intelligently maps these 6 controls to the most musical parameters for that specific sound. So the tone control will allow you to sort of like roll off the lows, increase the high end, and it will adjust the sound very sensibly, really. And the magic is you don't need to know what it's doing behind the scenes. You just turn the knob and it sounds good every single time. Because watch this, here's a bright pad. Now if we just go for a bass sound. And we'll play with the bell sound. Let's try this one, church bowl. So same control, completely different results, but they all sound musical and intentional. And that's the adaptive part. So let's break down each control one by one and I'll show you exactly what they do and when to use them in ambient and electronic production. So first up is tone, and this is probably going to be your most used control because tone adjusts the overall brightness and tonal character of a patch. So let's load another patch in for you, because let's say I load this sort of like darkish sounding ambient pad. It sounds great, but it's a bit low, you know, a bit dull. So what I'm going to do is turn the tones up, turn the back off on the low end, and we get a brighter pad. So instead of digging into the filter section, adjusting cutoff frequencies, adding some EQ, play with the tone controls because you're going to get further quicker. And you can see and hear the high frequencies sort of like coming through on this patch and how musical it transitions through the sound. It's not just opening sort of the higher frequencies, it's intelligently brightening the entire patch in a way that maintains its character. So there's a subtle difference, but it's there. Let's do Trust the Prophet. Let's go extreme, then you get the feel of what I'm on about here. Make this a darker sound. You see, I muddied it up there. So for ambient producers, I do find the sweet spot sort of like up in the highs a little bit, and it gives you a bit more clarity without the harshness for bright sort of modern electronica sounds. You might want to add a bit more on the mid sides. Now, next up is Ambience, and this is where Omnisphere gets a really fun for sort of ambience and cinematic work. Ambience controls the spatial characteristics, reverb, delay, and overall sense of space. So what I'm going to do is load up a synth sound. Let's go for a synth block. So there's a little bit of reverb that at the moment, but what I'm going to do is play with these ambience controls. I'm going to straight away, if I want to dry it up, just turn the length down. So that is a great way of playing with the reverb side of things. And it's not just adding reverb, although that's part of it. It's the patches sort of like getting a little bit dark and sitting further back and feeling more atmospheric. And Omnisphere is making multiple adjustments simultaneously to create that sense of space. So for ambient music, obviously we're going to start at 50%, and just from there, lower values work great for electronica. It dries up the sound a little bit more. More you turn that length to the right, it gets more on the ambient side. One interesting thing to show you is if I initialize a patch and we start off with that sound. If you move the amount slider, watch what happens. Well, listen to what happens. We suddenly get reverb on there, because what it does, it automatically adds a velvet verb to your auxiliary send channel. So you can start a patch without reverb, and then as soon as you move that amount slider, we end up with reverb added in. So I'm going to leave it where it is for now and stay on this patch, because we're going to start playing with this filter section here, because this is sort of like a quick go-to for quick tonal sculpturing. And you might be thinking, well, isn't it the same as tone? Well, not quite. Because while tone adjusts overall brightness, filter specifically targets the filtering characteristics. So let me demonstrate. If I bring on the filter now, now go to layer A, it's brought on the filter section for me. I don't have to start digging. And then I can brighten it up, add a bit more low end. So see how it's creating a sort of like smooth, gradual roll-offs of frequencies. It's not just dimming the sound, it's actually engaging and adjusting the filter section of the patch in an intelligent way. And I use the filter when I need to tame something that's a little bit too bright, or to open up something that's a little bit muffled. It's more surgical than tone. Combine both controls together and you have incredible tonal flexibility. So then we have the envelope section here where, well, it's just how quickly sounds start and stop on your attack and release time. So you don't have to dig into this bit here and start faffing around. You just go straight to this envelope section here. Because here, this is our initial pad. Now if I want to turn it into a pad. So if I go to the amp section, I can just up the attack change the release. Let's bring the sustain up and drop the decay a bit. I now have a pad quickly made by just using these global controls on the front of Omnisphere. And we can go the other way and say, oh, I want a plucky sound. Let's turn the attack down, turn the filter attack down. Let's decay up, sustain down. Turn the release off. And if you want a more of a pluck, we got it straight away very quickly. So for pads and textures, I do try and keep the envelope between 60 and 80% for rhythmic parts. Melodies, you might want to drop it to get it more plucky, sort of tighter response. We now have a vibrato here, which has sort of a little sort of movement to the to the patch that you're working on. So if I do this, adds that little bit of instability. So for ambient work, you don't want to go much above 40% because otherwise it starts going a little bit odd. So a little hint of vibrato like I've done here adds that nice nostalgic feeling to it. Now Unison, now this is an interesting one, is usually with Unison you need to go into here, bring it on and all that jazz. Well, if you want a quick Unison hit, just move the amount. So for huge sort of sounds, you need to go up to about the 75% mark. So what we're going to do is transform a preset very, very, very quickly and go from there. So let's just take a clicker pluck. Brilliant. Now, I want to add a bit of vibrato to that. Open. I want to make it into a pad, so I'm going to just turn the attack up. I want the filter to come in gently. Add a bit more, and I want limiter onto. So we've gone to that, and the original sound was. So very, very quickly you can sculpt a different sound by just using these global controls. Really, really, really handy. So there are limitations, and when you want to go deeper, because I want to make it clear that these global controls are amazing for quick adjustments and patch browsing, but they're not a replacement for proper sound design. And if you need precise control, complex modulation, or you're building a patch from scratch, you'll still need to dive into the full synthesis engine. So think of global controls as your fast access tools for 80% of your needs, but when you need that extra 20% of precision, well, the full power of Omnisphere is still there waiting for you. And there you have it, Omnisphere 3's adaptive global controls, 6 simple areas on the front page that give instant musical results to any of the 41,000 and more patches within Omnisphere 3. And if you found this helpful, do me a favour and hit that like button. I've got tons more Omnisphere 3 content coming, including deep dives into the new quad zone modulation, which I know a lot of you are talking about, the 36 new filter types and library reviews that's sort of like coming out now like rabbits. So subscribe and turn on notifications so you can catch every video. I've also put together sort of a full review, like a sort of first look at Omnisphere 3 in this video. That's in the description below and hopefully going across the top now. So drop a comment and let me know which Omnisphere 3 feature you want me to cover next. I'm Adrian Earnshaw, thanks so much for watching. Stay creative, stay sonic, catch you in the next one.